You know that feeling when your paycheck finally hits your account? For about 3 seconds, you feel like everything is going to be okay. Then your brain kicks in. You start mentally spending money you have not even touched yet. New shoes, takeout every night this week, maybe finally upgrading that phone. And before you even open your banking app, the paycheck is already spent in your head. Sound familiar? Here is what nobody tells you. The problem is not your income. The problem is what happens to your money in those first few moments after it arrives. And if you do not have a system controlling those moments, your money will disappear every single month without fail, no matter how much you earn. The good news is that fixing this is not complicated. It does not require a finance degree, and once you set it up, it runs on autopilot while you sleep. My name is Uncle Investor. I am 45 years old, and I have spent years breaking down exactly what separates people who quietly build real wealth from people who earn decent money and still wonder where it all goes every month. If you want a simple, repeatable routine that puts your money to work every single time you get paid, subscribe to this channel right now and hit that like button. It costs you nothing, and it could genuinely change your financial future. Here is something that might genuinely shock you. The average person has absolutely no idea what actually happens to their money after they get paid. They know their rent gets covered somehow. Food ends up in their kitchen. Their streaming subscriptions keep renewing themselves. But beyond that, it is complete financial chaos. They are basically financial sleepwalkers, moving through life on autopilot, wondering why there is never anything left over at the end of the month. The reality is that most people treat their paycheck like a surprise gift instead of treating it like the wealth building tool it actually is. They get excited when it arrives, spend most of it on things they do not really need, and then spend the following 2 weeks anxiously checking their bank balance and wondering where it all went. But people who actually build wealth operate completely differently. They have a system, they have a routine, and that routine starts the very moment their paycheck hits their account. It is not complicated, it is not glamorous, it will not go viral on social media, but it works. And once you start using it, you will genuinely wonder how you ever managed money without it. Let me tell you about the moment this whole concept clicked for a young investor who started his financial journey at just 18 years old. His goal was straightforward: save half of every dollar that came into his account. For the first 3 weeks, he was on fire. He was budgeting, writing everything down, manually moving money into savings. He was convinced he was on track to save 50% of his income for the entire year. Then life showed up uninvited. He got hungry and ordered delivery food. He felt insecure and bought some new clothes. Small purchases started adding up. And 6 months later, he had not saved a single penny beyond those first 3 weeks. After sitting with that failure, he went and studied how genuinely wealthy people manage their money. And what he found completely changed his approach. Wealthy people are not necessarily smarter. They do not have superhuman willpower. They simply have the right systems in place that move their money automatically. No manual effort required. No motivation needed. Their money moves and grows whether they feel like it or not. That insight is the foundation of everything we are going to cover today. Before we get into the system itself, here is the uncomfortable truth most people avoid. Most people manage their money completely backwards. They pay their bills, they buy what they want, then they try to save whatever is left at the end of the month. And there is never anything left. It is like trying to fill a bucket that has a hole in the bottom and then being genuinely confused about why it stays empty. People who build real wealth do the opposite. They pay themselves first. They give every dollar a job before it has a chance to disappear. And they make their money work as hard as they work to earn it. Financial success is not about earning more money, although that certainly does not hurt. It is about having a system that works no matter what your income level is. Here is a simple example that puts this into perspective. Someone earning $50,000 a year who consistently saves and invests 10% of it will end up in better financial shape than someone earning $100,000 a year who spends every dollar they make. The lower earner with a real system retires comfortably. The higher earner is still working at 80 because they never built a system that kept any of what they earned. Here is the system. Step by step. Step 1. Understand that your checking account is home base, not your final destination. Your checking account is where your paycheck lands. It is the starting point. But it is not where your money should stay. Here is why leaving money sitting in a regular checking account is quietly costing you. Inflation right now is running at around 3.4%. If you have $1,000 sitting in a checking account earning 0.1% interest, you are losing around $34 of purchasing power every single year. You're not doing nothing. You're actively going backwards. Your checking account is a pit stop, not a parking spot. Keep just enough in your checking account to cover your rent, utilities, and any bills you know are coming that month. A few hundred to a couple of $1,000s is typically enough depending on your situation. Everything else needs to move out immediately into accounts that are actually doing something useful with your money. Step 2. Know your numbers before you move a single dollar. Before you automate anything, you need to clearly understand what is coming in and what is going out. Grab a piece of paper. Pull up your bank statements and credit card bills. Write down everything that comes in and everything that goes out. Find out whether you are saving money each month or quietly slipping into the negative. This is your financial starting point. You simply cannot fix something you have not taken the time to measure. The goal right now is not to judge yourself for where you are. The goal is to understand what is happening so you can improve it gradually over time. Once you have that picture clear, determine what percentage of your income goes toward true necessities, things you genuinely cannot live without. Housing, basic food, transportation to get to work, essential utilities, healthcare. Notice what did not make that list. The premium cable package, the gym membership collecting digital dust, the 4 streaming services you cycle through and forget about. Here is the reality check. If you are spending more than 60% of your take-home pay on true necessities, you are either living somewhere too expensive for your current income, or you are calling luxuries necessities because it feels more comfortable than admitting the truth. Here is a real example to make this concrete. Imagine someone earning $75,000 per year. After taxes, they are taking home roughly $4,750 each month. If their rent is $1,800, their car payment is $400, and they spend $500 on food. That is already $2,700 in monthly expenses. That is about 57% of their take-home pay, which is actually reasonable for someone in a higher cost area. But that same person might also be paying for multiple streaming services, eating out several times a week, buying coffee every morning, and making small purchases that feel harmless individually but stack up to hundreds of dollars every month. The key is being completely honest with yourself about what you actually need versus what you simply want. Your future financial freedom depends on your ability to make that distinction consistently. Step 3. Protect your credit score before spending on anything optional. Before any optional spending happens, make sure every single debt payment you have is being made on time. This is not about eliminating all your debt overnight, although that is absolutely worth working toward. This is about protecting your credit score and avoiding late fees that can set your financial progress back faster than almost anything else. Your credit score is your financial reputation, and in today's world, that reputation touches almost everything. It determines the interest rate you pay on a mortgage. It affects whether you qualify for a decent car loan. It can even influence whether a landlord approves your rental application or whether certain employers consider you for a position. Here is something surprising about how credit scores actually work. The difference between excellent credit and poor credit often comes down to just one missed payment. Making 99% of payments on time is considered good. Dropping to 97% on time and your score takes a significant hit. In school, 97% earns you an A+. In credit scoring, it earns you the label of high-risk borrower. The rules are genuinely simple here. Make your minimum payments on time every single time. Your credit score handles itself from there. Not exciting, not glamorous, but this is the foundation that every other part of this system gets built upon. Step 4. Build your emergency fund inside a high-yield savings account. This is your first base. And this is where your money actually starts doing something useful for you. An emergency fund is not optional if you are serious about building wealth. It is mandatory. Research consistently shows that most Americans cannot cover an unexpected $1,000 expense without borrowing money or going into debt. If you do not have an emergency fund, you are one car repair or one medical bill away from blowing up everything you have been working to build. Your emergency fund creates a cushion between you and the chaos that life regularly delivers. Car trouble, a broken laptop, an unexpected home repair. These things happen to everyone. And when they happen to you, your emergency fund means you handle it without touching your investments or reaching for a credit card. The target is 3 to 6 months of your monthly living expenses saved up. To find your number, take your monthly expenses and multiply by 3 for the minimum. Multiply by 6 for a more secure cushion. Using our earlier example, someone with $2,700 in monthly expenses needs between $8,000 and $16,000 in their emergency fund. That number might feel large right now, but you are not saving it all at once. You are building it steadily through automatic transfers over time. Now, here is what most people get completely wrong about where to keep this money. Do not leave it in your regular checking account where you will be tempted to dip into it. Do not invest it in the stock market where it could drop in value right when a real emergency hits. Do not lock it away somewhere you cannot access it quickly when you need it most. Put it in a high-yield savings account. Traditional banks like Chase, Wells Fargo, and Bank of America typically pay around 0.42% on savings. They take your deposits, lend that money to other people, invest it in markets, earn around 8 to 10% returns, and hand you back 0.42% as a thank you. That arrangement works out very well for them and very poorly for you. A high-yield savings account currently pays around 3 to 4% interest. Same money, same government-backed insurance protection, dramatically better return. Put $10,000 in a traditional savings account and earn roughly $42 a year. Put that same $10,000 into a high-yield savings account at 4% and earn around $400 a year. Same deposit. Completely different result. Once you hit your emergency fund target, stop saving there. Redirect your automation to the next step, because this is where things genuinely start to get interesting. Step 5, start investing for your future self. Once your emergency fund is fully built, you have officially moved out of financial survival mode and into wealth building mode. This is second base, and this is where compound interest begins working in your favor instead of against you. If your employer offers a retirement plan with matching contributions, this is your absolute first move. Think of employer matching this way. Your employer is offering to hand you free money every month in exchange for you setting aside some of your own income for retirement. That is literally what it is. Free money. And most people leave it sitting unclaimed because they do not realize what they are walking away from. If your company matches 3% of your salary and you earn $60,000 per year contributing $1,800 annually, means your employer also contributes $1,800. You doubled your money before the market even does anything. No investment on earth consistently guarantees a 100% return on day one. Beyond capturing the full employer match, aim to invest around 10% of your gross income toward long-term retirement. Now let us talk about the two most powerful retirement accounts available to you right now. The Roth IRA is one of the most powerful wealth-building tools you will ever have access to. A Roth IRA is an individual retirement account where you invest money that you have already paid taxes on. Every dollar of growth inside that account is 100% tax-free. The government has no claim on it. Here is what that looks like in real numbers. You contribute $10,000 into your Roth IRA. You invested in index funds. It grows to $100,000 over time. Every single dollar of that $90,000 gain belongs entirely to you. No taxes owed when you take it out. None. The government is fully aware of how powerful this account is, which is exactly why they restrict access to it. Generally, you cannot withdraw funds without penalties until age 59 and a half. And there is an income limit. If your income exceeds approximately $150,000, your ability to contribute starts to phase out. When the government limits who can use a financial tool, that is a strong signal that you should be using it to its fullest potential while you still can. The current annual contribution limit for 2026 is $7,000. If contributing that full amount at once feels out of reach, spread it across the year. That works out to roughly $583 per month. Set up an automatic contribution and let it run. One critical mistake that costs people hundreds of thousands of dollars over a lifetime. They contribute money into their Roth IRA, but never actually invest it inside the account. Simply depositing money into a Roth IRA does not automatically put it to work in the market. You have to go in and actually purchase index funds or other investments with what you deposited. Money sitting idle inside a Roth IRA earns almost nothing. Do not let that be your money. The 401k gives you pre-tax investing with a powerful employer bonus. Your 401k is typically offered through your employer. Unlike the Roth IRA, your 401k contributions come out of your paycheck before taxes are calculated. This reduces your taxable income right now, which is a real and immediate financial benefit. The trade-off is that you will owe taxes on withdrawals when you retire. The employer match is what makes the 401k especially valuable. Always contribute at minimum enough to capture your full employer match every single pay period. Every dollar of matching contribution you leave behind is free money you are choosing not to take. Here's the math that should permanently change how you think about time and investing. If someone begins investing $300 per month at age 25 with an average annual return of 8%, they will have around $1 million by age 65. If that same person waits until age 35 to start investing the same $300 per month at the same return, they end up with only around $400,000 at retirement. That single 10-year delay costs them approximately $600,000. Here's another way to look at it. Investing $100 per month starting at age 18 could grow to around $500,000 by age 65. Starting at 25 with the same amount gets you around $320,000. Starting at 35 drops that number to around $130,000. Every month you delay is real wealth you are surrendering. Time in the market is the single most powerful advantage any investor has, and it is one you can only use right now, not later. Step 6. Pay down your debt with a clear strategy. Once your retirement investing is running automatically, turn your attention to eliminating any debt that is not your mortgage. 2 proven strategies exist for paying off debt, and both of them work. The key is picking one and following through. The avalanche method has you paying off debts with the highest interest rates first. Mathematically, this saves you the most money over time. The snowball method has you paying off your smallest debts first, regardless of interest rate. This is not the most mathematically efficient path, but it builds real momentum. Watching individual debts disappear quickly keeps you motivated to continue. Here is the honest truth. Personal finance is as much about psychology as it is about math. If the snowball method keeps you engaged and moving forward, that is the right approach for you, even if it costs a small amount of extra interest along the way. Choose one strategy. Commit to it fully. Do not switch methods halfway through, and do not pretend your debt does not exist, hoping it will somehow resolve on its own. Step 7. Build your taxable brokerage account. Once your retirement accounts are maxed out, any remaining money you want to invest goes into a regular taxable brokerage account. This is third base. This is where wealth continues to compound beyond the limits of your retirement accounts. There are no special tax advantages here, the way there are with a Roth IRA or a 401k. But your money is still out there working in the market and growing over time. For most people, the right approach here is not picking individual stocks or trying to time market movements. A straightforward diversified index fund that tracks the overall stock market is more than sufficient for building serious wealth over time. The stock market has averaged around 8 to 10% annual returns over the past 100 years. There have been crashes along the way. The crisis in 2008, the pandemic drop in 2020, sharp declines tied to economic and geopolitical uncertainty more recently. But every single time the market has fallen, it has eventually recovered and moved higher. The investors who built the most wealth were not the ones who avoided the market during turbulent periods. They were the ones who kept buying when prices dropped and everyone else was panicking. Warren Buffett put it simply, when others are greedy, be fearful. When others are fearful, be greedy. You do not need to be a sophisticated stock picker. You need to invest consistently, stay the course during downturns, and let time and compound interest do the work. Step 8. Automate everything without exception. This final step is what holds the entire system together. And it is the single step that most clearly separates people who build wealth from people who intend to but never quite get there. Automate everything. Here is the honest reality about willpower. It depletes. You might start Monday with every intention of managing your money perfectly. By Thursday evening, after a long week, that intention has faded completely. You will look at your account and quietly promise yourself you will move money to savings next week when things feel easier. Next week will not feel easier. Automation removes that vulnerability entirely. When your money moves according to a preset plan, human emotion and human fatigue are completely removed from the equation. Your money gets allocated correctly, whether you are motivated or exhausted, whether you are feeling disciplined or impulsive, whether you are at your desk or on a beach somewhere. Here's how to set it up practically. When your paycheck lands in your checking account, let it sit for one day to ensure everything has cleared properly. Then on the following day, your preset automatic transfers activate on schedule. A fixed amount moves from your checking account into your high-yield savings account to build your emergency fund. Once your emergency fund reaches its target, that automation redirects into your retirement investment accounts. Once your retirement contributions are maxed out, remaining investment funds flow automatically into your taxable brokerage account. You set this up once, then you let it run. No mental effort required, no temptation to fight, no risk of forgetting. It operates exactly like your rent payment or your phone bill, completely non-negotiable. One important habit to maintain: review and update your automations whenever your financial situation changes. If you receive a raise, increase your savings and investment percentages immediately. If you finish paying off a debt, redirect that freed up payment straight into your investment accounts. Do not leave your system running on outdated settings. Check it every few months and keep your financial flight plan current. Here is the entire system in plain simple terms. Your checking account is home base. Keep just enough there for your known monthly bills and expenses. From your checking account, set up automatic transfers into your high-yield savings account. This is where you build your 3 to 6 month emergency fund. Once your emergency fund is fully funded, redirect those automations into your retirement accounts. Contribute enough to your 401k to capture your complete employer match. Max out your Roth IRA at $7,000 for 2026. And always remember to actually purchase investments inside the account after you deposit. The money does not invest itself. Once retirement accounts are maxed out, route additional investment funds into your taxable brokerage account and invest in low-cost diversified index funds. That is the complete system. Start with 10% of your income if you can. If that feels out of reach today, start with $5. Start with $10. Start with whatever number you can commit to right now and increase it gradually as your situation improves. The starting amount matters far less than the decision to begin. A year from now, you will look back and be grateful you started today. 5 years from now, the results will genuinely surprise you. Wealthy people do not build wealth through extraordinary willpower or perfect discipline. They build systems. Systems that work tirelessly, whether they feel motivated or not, whether they are awake or asleep, whether they are working or traveling. This paycheck routine is not complicated, but it works precisely because most people never commit to any real system at all. Start treating every paycheck like the wealth-building opportunity it is. Automate the process, trust the system, and give it time to work. If this video gave you a clearer picture of what to do with your money every time you get paid, do one thing right now. Share this video with a friend or family member who needs to hear this. One share from you could genuinely set someone on a completely different financial path. And if you want to keep building your financial knowledge, go watch our previous video titled, Banks Have Classes. Here is where you rank. It breaks down exactly where you stand in the banking system today and what that actually means for your money. The link is on your screen right now. Go check it out, and I will see you there.